Welcome everybody that showed up. Nasty weather out there, I know. We're recording it too, so we're gonna have it able to show, because Marcus is gonna do an excellent job at that and not screw that one up for us. Obviously we love Pan Americas at White Lightning Harley-Davidson. From our dirt days rides, dirt ways, training, the dirt crew that we're starting to form and put together. It's a good tight group of folks that love getting out, and it doesn't always have to be just in the dirt. You know, we focus on that here a lot, I know, but these bikes are meant for so much more: cross-country touring, and some folks never hit the dirt, and that's totally awesome as well too, because they're amazing bikes. So what we're going to cover today is we've teamed up with Klim, another very iconic brand in what we do, and they are going, Joe is going to go over a lot of his product. Joe came all the way up from Clearwater, Florida area, and has made the trip up to go over all that with y'all. He's done training with our team in motor clothes, so they are able to help explain all this. We've already been through the vest, this is awesome that Teresa is going to be our demo on this. I'm going to go through and introduce everybody real quick, just so everybody knows who everybody is. Guys, this is open forum. You got questions. This isn't just us up here talking. I want you guys engaged, asking, touching. You know, we've got Wunderlich, Hans here with all his great bikes and parts and so much to go over, so we don't want to bore you guys, but when you got questions, just stop us or raise a hand, okay? I'm going to start with Scotty. She is obviously a sales team lead here, and she's on the Pan Americas. She's made a trip to Milwaukee already and competed and done very well in that. Out of all the dealerships in America, there was 10 qualifiers for that, and we went up to Milwaukee and competed in that and did a great job. Any questions you've got about your bike, from modes to anything like that, she's your girl on the floor up there. You got friends looking into Pan America, send them her way. She can answer these questions better than most of us can. So real quick, you want to go through your intro?
Yeah, I just wanted to put a face to a name, so any excuse that I can have to talk about the Pan America, I'll take it. So I'm out here almost every day, and if you have any questions regarding the Pan America, how it works, what it does, pricing, anything like that, I would be more than happy to get you on it, get you involved in dirt ways and dirt days, and get you any other information you need. So I'm your lady, and I look forward to working with y'all.
Awesome. We'll go with Joe. Joe next. Joe, like I said, all the way came from Clearwater, Florida. Klim, if you want to give us a little intro there, brother.
Yep, so I've been with Klim now for the past year and a half. Klim's been in business since 1999, making motorcycle, snowmobile, and off-road dirt bike gear since they've been incepted out there in Rigby Falls, Idaho. Like I said, I started for them last year in January. I've been selling Klim products for the past 9 years. Before that, through a BMW dealership down in Florida, which is why Klim sought me out, because I rode with their gear when I first started working at that dealership. Before that, I had worked at a Harley dealership way back when in my mid-20s, before I left for the Army. So I've ridden with a ton of different gear throughout that entire 5 to 6 years that I worked at the Harley shop. Tried everything that I possibly could to find what brands were going to fill the need that I had for what I was doing, whether it was street riding, track riding, or off-road riding. When I started for BMW, I varied into the Klim gear and found out really quickly that Klim's product suited everything that I needed, from hot weather, cold weather, raining, and everything in between, just because we have multiple climates that our gear is able to go through and keep you comfortable while riding and also keep you safe. In the last 9 years alone, I've managed to rack up about 560,000 miles on about 13 different motorcycles, wearing nothing but Klim's gear. So some of the stuff that we carry here at White Lightning Harley, we have the Carlsbad here for the guys who are going to be on the bigger touring bikes that are going to want, same thing with these Panameras, and your road glides and your street glides and your ultras. These are a great piece for that. The Dakar jackets here is definitely going to be a trail versatile jacket, because it doesn't have armor. It's going to be a lower price point. You can load the armor to it. The sleeves zip off, so when you get out to doing your trail riding on the Panameras, you can pull the sleeves off, shove them in the pocket in the backside. It is a water-resistant jacket, so it's not going to be a fully waterproof, but it's giving you a lot of breathability, comfort, and it's just overall very light. Another great piece we have is the Baja Series jacket. This is a full-on hardcore adventure touring vented jacket. Has what we got, the Dakar pants here down below. Those are our great trail riding pants, also for the motocross series. Other pieces that they have in-house are the Krios Pro helmets that offer great ventilation. It has a transitions visor on it with Colroyd inside, so it offers way better impact absorption versus the standard EPS lining that's in helmets. We have our Adventure Touring GTX boots down here. We have the Edge goggles in-house. We have Mojave gloves in-house. And a bunch more that's coming that I brought up here just to show off. Like I said, there's so much versatility in Klim's gear, whether depending what type of riding you're doing, long distance, short distance, off-road, not off-road, it's completely your choice, and we have everything in between that we can cover you on that aspect. Even just you want to wear what you're wearing Harley shirts because you ride Harleys. If you want to support the Klim brand and that you're wearing Klim gear, we also have a bunch of our lifestyle pieces. Or if you're traveling, you can throw all your gear in nice bags to travel with that as well. With that as well, for other safety aspects, we have the airbag vest here. That's our AI1 airbag vest. We also have an AI1 Rally that are great for just having that extra bit of protection. All jackets nowadays are going to have armor in them in the elbow, shoulders, and the back pads typically. This is just an added benefit because most the track riders that are on MotoGPs and World Superbike races are wearing airbags underneath their tracksuits. So Klim took that aspect, this vest and company in motion that built the airbag vest for us has been getting so much feedback in riders. They have over 60,000 plus riders around the world wearing this thing. They have over 63,000 miles ridden wearing the airbag vest, testing them, constantly updating and testing the parameters and the protocols of how they're supposed to deploy. And I have this thing here set up ready to pop it just to show a quick demonstration of what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to wear this underneath your touring jacket, your street jackets at any given time. When you wear the airbag vest underneath that piece, you take your back armor pad out because this has a back armor pad in it. It does deploy should you have a fall for an emergency situation within 60 milliseconds of it sensing that there's an impact or you're separating from your motorcycle that you need to have that deployment go off. If you just fall over at a stoplight, it's not meant to deploy. You're not going to need it to pop off just because you boo-booed at a stoplight, slipped on a slick of oil or whatever. Now you got to replace the canister in the backside. This thing's meant to be able to be deployed at least 3 times before you need to send it back to the company and get it checked out. And then most likely, if you've had it deployed 3 times, you need to buy a new one anyways. But it saved your life, hopefully, and therefore it did its job. But as a quick demonstration of this thing, I'm going to hit the button and see how she goes.
Not nervous,
for
are
this
you?
thing. Are you ready?
You went pee, right?
Are you real ready?
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Oh. No! Wow.
As you see, it did pop on her, so she got the full deployment of the front side and the back side, that there's going to be some channels along the back side, the whole thing protecting this, and it's also underneath her hair here. You can see that it's going to be locking your helmet in place underneath that jacket, so your head's not going to be having a broken neck or anything because it's keeping you all properly aligned.
Cool.
Wow.
Let's take this thing off.
And it will not deflate until you take the canister out to take it down. Thankfully, hopefully it should not pop off unless you have that accident, but in the backside, the brain of this thing on the backside is right here. It can just come out just by sliding a little tab here and then popping this thing out. This is the brain box. This thing will last about 30 hours. So when you're on your road traveling cross country, whatever, you're on a 2-week-long trip, going to Alaska, wherever you're going, you can take this off, whatever. You can. Most of us are not riding more than 6 hours, 4 hours a day, cranking out maybe 400 miles a day. So when you get to your hotel room at nighttime, just plug this thing every 2 days and charge it back up. It does sync to your cell phone, so you can update the parameters and the protocols in it all the time, and sending that feedback to the company so they can make adjustments and send those to your phone and update that programming in here. Inside the back side of this thing, you will see that there's a canister and the back armor pad, which is why you do not need to have one in your jacket anymore, because this is the CE level 1 rated backpack. You can upgrade this to a nicer D3O one, but this is the canister right there that's keeping this thing inflated. These things are about $100 to replace the canisters, which is not bad for a piece that's obviously saving your life, so you're having less injuries you have on your body. And it's just merely taking the canister off, and voila, she'll start deflating out. Pop a new canister in there, and you're good to go. Plug it all back in, rock and roll.
So 3 times, and then they need to send it back?
Third time, you need to send her back and get her inspected, and
It may or may not?
you need to replace it regardless.
Okay.
The vest itself is $3.99. Then there's a subscription service, which is what they use to judge all the parameters on and the protocols to make the adjustments to it. And that subscription service can be based anywhere between like $12.99 a month to $120 a year, or $3.99 to buy it outright, which essentially puts this brand vest in line with everything from the Dionysi airbag vest and the Alpine Stars, I want to say it's the Tech 3 and Tech 5 air vest. That this is that's the entry level airbag vest compared to those top brands. This is the exact same price point as all those. And this is the one that's getting the same, not the Klim version, but the In Motion company that makes our airbags for us is the same ones that they're using on all those top World Superbike races and MotoGP racers. Any other questions?
Are you going to explain why what the bike's hanging from?
So the bike here that's hanging behind me, we got the Pan America. I was told this thing weighs what, 570, 550?
550.
This is an induction jacket. We do have this thing completely lifted off the ground. It is merely suspended just by the straps and the jacket. This jacket does not normally have the seat belts here sewn to it with the D-rings. That's just so I can have an attachment point to this thing. But as you can see, it's off the ground. It's moving. There is nothing holding it up except for that jacket. It's perfectly fine. It's there. Other than that, I mean, we have other jackets. The induction jacket, like I said, it's a high-flow air version jacket. It has Cordura on the elbows, the shoulders. There's this polycarbonate mesh here on the jacket on the sides. There's Cordura on the sides. There's D3O level 1 armor in the elbows, the shoulders, and the back pads. And you can upgrade the armor in this to a level 2. There's also an Induction Pro that throws even more air through it. This jacket retails at about $3.99, and the Induction Pro retails for $4.99. There's also some matching pants and gloves that go with this whole series for a overall very comfortable, very breathable jacket for around town riding. Whenever it starts raining, then I would throw like a forecast jacket that's in our waterproof lineup series that's made of Gore-Tex to keep inside your pannier cases, and then throw them on over the top of this jacket, because as you're riding and you get that little small swell that's getting you soaking wet, the Gore-Tex is going to dry this thing completely out after about 30 minutes of riding, roughly. An example of that, I rode back from Daytona to my house in Clearwater. It's about 3 hours ride from point A to point B. I got stuck in Orlando an hour and a half in my ride in a monsoon, threw on my forecast jacket and pants, got to about Plant City, which is another 35 minutes away from Orlando, and I was already completely dry. When I got back to Tampa in my house in St. Pete, I was 100% dry, and it was like nothing was wet at all, except for my socks, because I had not waterproof boots on at the time. So the Gore-Tex materials that we have that are like the Carlsbad jacket here, the Badlands series jackets for the adventure touring guys, the Kodiaks, the Latitudes for the other touring jackets. They're all great pieces to utilize for traveling, but also keeping you dry, comfortable, and breathable while you're riding on your trips. We also have a ton of different base layers to wear underneath your touring jackets that I can go into closer detail if you like, on how to travel cross country wearing Klim's gear. Per se, like the base layer that I currently have underneath my shirt now, this is a cooling, wicking base layer shirt that I would wear underneath just this touring jacket, and I have matching long johns as well that I'll wear underneath my suits and travel cross country, wearing them for 3 days straight, washing them when I get to the hotels every night, but I'll wear those for the entire trip just to keep nice and cool, but also comfortable throughout the entire trip. Then they switch out, but we also have multiple different layers of that, where this is the -1 for the hot weather, and then we got the 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 for when it gets to the Arctic tundra temperatures that you're going to need to keep yourself warm, instead of wearing a heavy, bulky, puffy jacket, so you're not feeling so restricted underneath your jacket and having less mobility. From there, I can hand it over to Chelsea if she has.
And one of the great things that we've seen so far with working with these guys is the turnaround. We can't carry everything. If you look at their catalog, it goes for days. But we do try to make sure we keep a size run in of everything. So you can go try on a large, actually feel what a large, because it's going to run true. I've found that in all the jackets and all the stuff that I've been purchasing from them. We'll actually be able to, if we don't have it, like I said, try it on, and Chelsea and Joe are going to be phasing in and out a lot of the stuff that we're carrying as well too, to tailor our needs for what they have to carry. So great product. We can normally get it within about 2 days. Typically 2 business days is what we're seeing so far. So quick turnaround on that.
Real quick turnaround. In our warehouse, we have 2 different warehouses. One's in the west, one's in the east. So this dealership's really close proximity. They can get it real fast. So
Yep.
great benefit for them.
Awesome.
So I'm Chelsea. I'm the motor clothes manager. Like I said, me and Sean have been talking gear for about 2 years, trying to figure out what is going to work best for our area, our customers, and the type of riding that everybody is going to do. We do have a little bit from Harley. Harley is in the process of coming out with some good stuff. But until then, we do have Klim. We do have the Alpine Star boots. We do have several options depending on, again, what you're kind of looking for as far as gear.
We have Harley stuff over there as well. She's got the Harley shield down there. We carry.
It's the grit helmet, and then the operative riding jacket. That's the 120th that you have. So again, we do have good stuff from Harley. We're just
Explain the jerseys just so everybody understands. We're doing.
We started making the jerseys 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago. We do a limited run of them. So they all say Dirt Crew on them, and it's repping 423 on the back. We are in the process of making Dirt Crew 423 kind of our brand for our Dirt Crew.
So you'll start seeing that pop up more, March Moto Madness, stuff like that. We're working on a lot of things with those guys up there as well too, and all the rally scene and all that. So if you're interested in a jersey, get with Chelsea over there. They are also given to everybody that purchases a new or used Pan America. We just started this here recently, so Mark, I know you didn't get yours when you bought your bike, but we started doing that as well too. So it's not just, you don't have to be a part of a group or anything. You're at White Lightning, you're supporting us, you're in the group. So a lot of good things going on over there in the motor clothes department. Thank you guys. Awesome. They're around for questions and everything as well too. Hans over here. You came all the way from where in North Carolina?
Yeah, we're in Western North Carolina.
Western, so about 5 hours away from here or so?
Yeah, about 4.5.
If you're not familiar with the Wunderlich product, I'm gonna let him break it down for you, but my take on it is it's been a premier product in the BMW world for a number of years. They make very, very, very high quality parts. As we all know, with high quality parts, you pay for high quality, right? Instead of something cheaper, less made as well, and have to end up replacing it multiple times. So I'm gonna hand it over to Hans, let him go through his stuff, and then we got a few things that I want to show you on my bike that we tend to have gathered and carry, and that'll help whether you're on the road or in the trail, keep you safe and keep you rolling.
Cool. Well, thanks for the intro, Sean.
Yep.
And I just want to say thank you for making this all happen, and your White Lightning team to make this all work. And we're very happy to be here. Also, for everyone that came out today, despite the weather, hopefully it's worth your time. You can learn something today to help get on the trail and see what all these different options from Klim and from Wunderlich to see how we can enhance your riding scene. So, yeah, our U.S. base is in Hendersonville, North Carolina. So about 4.5 hours away. We're in a great spot. Between our HQ in Hendersonville and Chattanooga, we got some of the best riding in the country, and we utilize that all the time. Not many people can say that they can take a new trail or a new road every weekend and have a new one each time. So we're very blessed to be where we are. So we can utilize the Pan America to its full potential for sure. Wunderlich is a German-based company. It's been around about 35 years now, and for the vast majority of its time, it's made high-grade BMW exclusive parts, primarily for the GS and the whole BMW line. And not until last year in 2022, we came out and branched out of BMW exclusivity and to make parts for the Pan America. The guys over there thought, okay, this is a cool bike. We have to make parts for this, and there's definitely a market for it.
And that's it, BMW and Pan America. That's it.
As of recently, they brought on Ducati as well for the Desert X, and then now the Multistrada. But the first one to branch out from BMW was Harley, the Pan America, and so that says a lot about the bike itself, that we would branch out to it. We're very excited when that happened. There were some mixed feelings about it. Some guys, oh, we got to say BMW, but we're like, please pick stuff for Harley. This is going to be cool, and it's been really, really nice to be able to branch out to the Harley scene. And honestly, it's been cool working with you guys and other Harley dealerships. It's a whole kind of different mindset. So we're very happy about that. So with Wunderlich, like I said, we've specialized with premier product. So all the research and design and a lot of the prototyping is done in-house over in our headquarters in Western Germany. However, none of our parts are actually made in-house, so we actually find the most premier niche supplier for all of our different parts. So basically, we find the best manufacturer to make the certain luggage system, for the best windshield, for the best milled aluminum parts. So that's why we always find the best type of supplier for our products. And generally, these are local suppliers, about maybe a 100-mile radius of the company itself. However, sometimes we do reach out to other EU countries, like our windshields are made in Italy, for example, and some plastic parts in Portugal. But generally, it's always high-grade European. Also, the products are always made in small batches. Nothing's mass-produced. It's generally only like a couple hundred at a time to make sure that the quality is there. And in case there needs to be revised, that we can always do that, and to ensure that the quality is always there. So that's why with Wunderlich products, we're very proud about the quality of our components, and to make sure that you have the best that's available in the market. So with the Pan America as well, we have a wide range of products. We probably have about 50 different part numbers, and there's more coming. I know there's some more on the Atlantic coming our way as we speak. And so we're very, very happy about that. And we have parts really for every kind of Pan America rider. You know, if you're doing really intense off-road riding, we have stuff for that. If you're like Sean says, some guys just don't see an inch of gravel, which is totally fine. We have many things for touring as well. So our versatile product line has something for everyone. And so I think the best thing to do, I'd like to go through the different parts that we have on our bikes. We have pretty much everything that's not stock on this bike is from us. A lot of the parts overlap a bit, so it's on this one, but not on that, vice versa. So we'll go through a little bit in each one, so we'll be able to go through everything here. So I'll be able to start from the front. So feel free to
if you guys
look
want to
around. Come around. It's totally fine. If you want to tinker with stuff or whatnot, you're more than welcome to. So we have, from the front and the rear, we have these axle sliders, and I know Sean's got them on his bike. So this gives a nice little barrier between, in case there's a crash, between the fork, and it helps protect the fork, the wheel axle, and then the braking components. It's very impact absorbing and very abrasion resistant, so it always stays form and helps prevent against excessive damage as well. A very cool part here as well is our fender extender. If I get it around here. So our fender extender is also very important because you don't want all that water and dirt flying up in the radiator. We don't want, yeah, exactly. So because we don't want to overheat the bike, and if too much in the radiator, that can definitely cause some issues. So with our radiator, it keeps a lot of the water and dirt away from the rider as well as the motorcycle, and keeps it nice and clean as well. A lot of other manufacturers are just simply riveted on, very cheaply made. However, ours are on both sides bracketed into the brake caliper to make sure that it's very sturdy and very, very well made, and that definitely stays put. We have two different kinds of headlight guards. Here we have ours made out of Lexan. It's shatterproof and very resistant, kind of what they make like bulletproof glass out of, and it prevents any kind of excessive damage on the headlight. Yeah, we have the Lexan. We also have the mesh version on the other one, which gives a more off-road look. The cool thing about ours It actually folds down as well, so if it gets all dirty inside, you can easily clean it and then fold it right back up. So that gives it a nice versatility there. And also in case we're damaged, if a nice rock comes in there or whatnot, we're able to replace that very easily as well. So that's a very nice part. We have our skid plate. Our skid plate is made of very high quality aluminum. It has a steel mesh in the front as well to have proper cooling. And also integrates really well with our radiator guard, also made out of stainless steel. And so definitely want to keep that radiator protected, and especially with the skid plate as well. It's not mounted directly to the motor. There's a rubber ground there as well. So in case something does dislodge substantially, that your motor is still protected. We have also different kind of openings on the bottom, so you still have full maintenance capabilities on your skid plate. So you can still drain the oil without taking the skid plate off, and different kind of openings in case water does get through. They'll flow out very easily. And also for off-road or on-road use, we have some new auxiliary lights. These are actually our new version, our Generation 3 microfluters. We've been making auxiliary lights for many years, but this is our newest, latest one, and we're very excited about it. It has a total of 8,000 lumens of output, 4,000 on each side. So they're definitely bright, and much brighter than a lot of the others on the market, and then also it's just, and it matches the standard headlight as well, so it really configures there quite a bit. And then installation is all pretty straightforward. We have a video of the installation coming out very soon as well. So that's a very slick part. And then here we have our Marathon windshield. So we've been making this kind of windshield for many years. Of course, we've had this for the GS. So basically, all those years of making high quality stuff for the BMWs and GS, we took all that knowledge and to making it for the Pan America. So we were able to integrate a lot of our past knowledge and experience and just adapt it to this bike. So our windscreen has extensive testing in wind tunnels and has very aerodynamic wind flow. It's much wider and much taller than the stock windscreen, and then much sturdier. It's much different material, also made out of Lexan, and to provide full wind resistance. We have our tinted one installed. It's also available in clear. A very cool part here as well is our screen reinforcements. So what a lot of people tend to notice that the stock screen and the stock brackets are very flimsy, and there's quite a bit of buffeting. So we have these stainless steel screen reinforcements that take care of that, makes it nice and sturdy so your windscreen's not flopping around, especially also when you're riding off-road.
That was probably one of the best pieces that I've put on my bike, was that right there. I ran other ones before I ran Wunderlichs, and then I met Hans, and we started talking, and we went over that right there, and that was one of the first things that I tried of their product, and the best thing I've put on my bike. Yeah, because it does not move. But you know, we all got the windshields that flutter around and move around. That thing's so sturdy after you install that. Yeah. Same as your GPS. I have the Garmin on mine, and it doesn't. You can't even get it to move.
We appreciate that, and yes, so that's why if you have both of our screen reinforcements installed, you have this device carrier, so you can put, like on yours, you have the Garmin. For ours, for example, we have the SP Connect phone system. Just snap your phone onto it, and it's of course, you can put any kind of windshield. It's designed for any windshield in stock or any kind of aftermarket, not just ours. So all you gotta do is twist this, and it still retains its full capability of lower to high, and then just tighten it back down, and then you're all set. Another nice component we have is our TFT display visor, and this simply snaps on and gets rid of all that glare if the sun's a little bit low and can't see the display too well. But with that extra shade, definitely makes a really big impact. I know, Sean, you run this part too as well.
Which one?
The visor here.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I can actually see my screen, especially in the woods when you got light coming down through. It makes it difficult. A big question I get asked a lot of times on this windscreen setup he's got is, can you adjust it while you're going on the road? It's very simple. When your hand's still on the throttle, to reach up there and twist those two and then be able to adjust it. But they will need to be tightened back up. I've done it multiple times, and I do get asked that quite a bit. Very simple.
Yeah, very, very nice. We also have two different kinds of handlebar risers. On this one, we have installed our ergo. These go 23 millimeters up and 45 back, so close to an inch up and close to 2 inches back. And so this gives you a nice reach back when you're riding. Also for staying off road, you get a much better angle. On the other bike, we have just the 1 inch up. Also, a very, very neat part here are our mirror extenders, as well as the height as well. So, especially if you're a bigger guy and you end up just seeing your shoulders in the rear mirror, with this easy part, you can extend it much outward, so you have a much better view of what's behind you. So the option is just the extension, but you can also add the height as well, if you'd like. We have handguard enlargers available in black and clear. So these gives a little more surface area. It's a much different material than the stock handguard. The thing always pops out. Much more material, so a lot more protection against kind of rain or any type of moisture, and also any kind of debris or branches, whatever you're going through at that time. So those just click into the inside of the existing handguard. We have a few different luggage solutions as well. So it all kind of starts with our tank bag base. So this clips in underneath the seat, and then it's used these existing bolts on the top to fasten. It has full access for fueling. So it snaps and back on, and we have different kind of tank bags. This is our elephant bag. This is usually our go-to. We also have a dry bag on the other bike. I can show that in a minute. And the whole concept is the same. There's a tongue inside, slides in, puts down, clips on. And even just like that, that's totally sturdy. It's not going anywhere. But if you really want to be fully secured, there's 4 additional Velcro straps to really make sure it's not going anywhere. So it's all made of high-grade Cordura fabric, and different side openings, waterproof zippers for things you might want on hand. Full water-resistant inner lining. All very, very, very high quality there. And even just with that capacity, there's plenty of room for everything you might need for the weekend. But in case that's not enough room, if you just zip it around one time, it's also expandable. So then you can really fit everything you want. And then of course you want to attach, we have the MOLLE system on top as well, and then some straps as well, so you can add a lot to it as well. So there we got that. On the other side, and we have a lot of stuff going on this side of the bike here. So I'll start with the side fairing. So I know in the 23 models of the Pan Am, they came out with that little heat deflector as well, but this is quite a bit different. So it's using the existing mounting points. So first of all, it just cleans up that look of the back of the radiator or the fan, and not always so appealing to the eye. But this way, it cleans that look up, but also diverts that hot air left around your legs. So all that heat would normally be spewing right at you, but in this way, it's actually diverted elsewhere. We have our ignition coil cover, gives extra protection for that, and also just integrates and cleans that look up quite a bit. We have quite a few things going on for the side stand. We have our side stand assist to make it pop out much easier and easier to find. Our side stand switch guard, because if that switch gets busted, then you're going to think the jiffy stand's down and you're not going to be able to go anywhere. So it'll be protected there. We have a side stand spring, which I'll demonstrate in a second. So because we found out, because there's two different things, two phenomenons. So for one, some of you may have noticed that when you're riding, it tends to bob up and down, especially if you're doing some off-roading. And also when you're trying to kick a kickstand down, it goes halfway, or doesn't really engage as well as you should. So that's why we figured out it wasn't necessarily the tension of the spring, but rather the placement. So we were able to have a new placement for the spring, which is additional. So for example, you can see here, you can use the side stand assist here, and it snaps out right away. So it gives you the confidence when you're riding, especially on an off-road, and it's like an uneven pavement. that it's always going to be extended fully, and you don't have to worry about it only going halfway or whatnot. So that way, it's always fully expanded, and that's very good install, as well as our side stand enlarger. That gives it much more surface area. Generally, for the BMW models, it was always made out of metal. However, for the Pan Am, it needs to slide a little bit to fully be stable. So that's why we made it out of a very dense plastic there. We also have our gear lever enlarger, especially if you're doing off-roading or just kind of miss that gear shift sometimes. Our gear shifter extends out close to an extra inch, so it makes it much easier to shift gears when you're on the road. It just simply replaces, it's very, very easy to switch that out. Our foot peg lowering kit lowers it about an inch, and then it also has the ability for a little rubber pad on top of it as well. And also, depending on what kind of bags, if you have the standard Harley bags, then you already have this component integrated. We have the lifting handle to make it much easier to put on a center stand. So basically, so you're not holding onto this or trying to cut your hand on the side here. So that gives you much more leverage to lift it on a center stand. As well as our recess cover. That's primarily for the passenger. Also cleans up that look, and a lot of the debris that coming through there is definitely been deflected. We have these are our luggage cases. They're extreme cases. These are a standard version. We also have a slimline version that's about 4 centimeters narrow on each side, so a total of 8, and so it aligns right inside the mirror and the handguard. So if you want a little more slimmer look, if you want to go maybe split some lanes or something, right? So as opposed to the Harley bags, you don't always need a key to open it, but you can of course lock it whenever you want, and then you can simply take it all out, pack all your stuff. Much easier than having a lid open like that. Pack it nice, and then close it back up. It's all locked with a wheel mechanism. Very easy to take on and off. And since I was speaking of the luggage, the tank bag there, we have a new tank bag coming out. This is still the first one we got. We're still waiting on the tank ring, but this one, so this is our click bag. So this will also replace the tank bag base, and just has like a tank ring instead. So that just slides right on, and then you have that. And that comes in 4 different kinds of sizes. So that's very new. It's still coming, but that's a little sneak peek there. And then here we go. Like that. We have our Wunderlich seats. So we make our own seat pan for the in Europe, and we actually use a high-end seat manufacturer to make our seats. And so we use a dense foaming, and then it's covered with a Thermo Pro, so that reflects about 77% of the heat that's coming from the sun's radiation. So that's why, especially us living in the south, that's very good for the summer. So it's your seat's going to be much cooler when it's in direct sunlight, as opposed to a normal material. So here we have installed our standard seat. We also have a low version, which is close to an inch lower, and then a high seat, which is an inch higher. They are a little bit firmer, so it kind of depends on what you like. You know, some guys want a softer seat, and some are cool with a firm one. So it's just, seats are always one of those things, right? And of course, our passenger seat also kind of acts as a backrest as well, and lifts it much higher as well. And for the passenger, we also have a passenger foot peg lowering kit, so right here. So that brings down the passenger foot peg for about an inch as well, and for much more comfort. So with a combination of the passenger being much more high, and then the passenger or the foot peg a little bit lower, it's much more comfort for the passenger. I'm trying to think everything else I got here. The rest I got on this bike, if you guys want to migrate a little bit on this way. So, because a lot of the stuff we don't have on this bike, we have on this one as well. For example, I mentioned the headlight guard. This is our mesh version, so it just kind of gives that sporty look as well. So same concept, it can be deployed down at any point. And this is also a very cool part here is our damping or valve damping protector. And so because the Pan Am Special being integrated with the adaptive ride height, it's always good to have that covered up in case. And it's a very, very slick part, and make sure it's all protected, all electronics. We have our fairing protection bars right here, so that it kind of cleans up the whole look, and it adds extra protection as well for the bars there. It's bracketed in 4 different points with different adhesives as well. We have our own tank pads. These are a little bit different from the Harley ones. These are made out of a polyurethane foam. Has like a nice light grain texture, and adds for nice grip for when you're riding. Our FlowJet is our other airflow option. It's doesn't have as much wind protection as our marathon screen. However, it does provide adequate protection for wind, and has a nice laminar airflow, and kind of for more off-road riding. I know Sean's got his installed. Do you have anything to say about the
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I had the shorter windscreen like we have on the Harley over there that we put on the floor. Not much difference for height or wind protection, but I mean, I'm doing 80 to 90% in the woods. So it's, this is for more of your touring cross country guy or gal. But I've seen a lot of the BMW folks keep something like this in their bag, and they're riding to wherever they're going, and they transition when they get out, because this thing's, I think, guaranteed not to break or something, right?
Yes.
I haven't tried yet, but
you might find a way. We'll see.
Yeah, it's less likely to break, but it's out of your way. You're in the woods. You're standing up. You still have that look on the front that's finished. That's what I liked about it. Is it kind of complemented the sides and didn't stand out as much as the Harley Shield did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a very popular part for us. We've had this for years for the GS, and we just kind of had it for the Pan Am as well. Like you said, a lot of people, they have both, and it's 4 bolts is easy enough to just take on and off. On this one, we have our other bars right here, just the inch up, as well as our crossbar, which goes right across. And so you can attach your GPS there if you wanted, or a phone mount, or anything you might want. The front brake reservoir is also very vulnerable, especially if you're riding on trails. From a branch or any kind of tree, we want to retain proper braking, so we have this brake reservoir protector. Very easy install and gives adequate protection in case something were to hit that, and then to make sure you stay on the road and don't have a break, right? So this is our other bag. This is our dry bag. This is 100% waterproof. The other one, we say that it's water resistant, but this one's definitely proved itself to be 100% waterproof with the material that we have. It has the same concept as the Elephant with the whole tongue mechanism, slides in, latches on. So that's a little bit smaller volume. However, if waterproof is very important, then that's definitely the way to go. And there's also a lot of people, a lot of Pan Am riders, they generally ride without a passenger. So that's why we have this luggage rack for that, so we can attach a nice bag to it, or anything you want. There's various latching, so you can really attach any kind of bags for it. We make bags that attach for it, but it's maintained very universal. It's very easy to take on and off, and it's designed right into this compartment, so it keeps it nice and waterproof as well. So it's honestly, it's easier to take on and off in the passenger seat. So a lot of people have this too. A lot of our customers, they have one of these when they're riding alone, and then if they have a passenger, then it's easy enough to swap out. So it's just snatches on just like the same mechanism, and snaps right back on. And then the other stuff we got here, we also have this EDC toolbox for everyday carry items. I'll come over here. So this is for, especially if you're doing a lot of off-roading, maybe you don't want the whole bags. This is a nice little option for you as well if you just want to have something with you that you want to on an everyday basis. So you can have like a toolkit in there, maybe an emergency kit, maybe a 9mm, it really kind of depends. So that comes with a unique key, and simply opens up. In our case, we have our tool, like a toolkit bag as well in there, and has plenty of storage for something you might want to have at striking distance. So simply snatches back on, and you're good to go. And also with the rubber coating as well. And then, yeah, of course, a rear reservoir protector, a nice slick look there. And we have a few other things. Well, of course, this is still a very new part, our rear fender. So this is much wider and much wider and longer than the stock fender. So this really protects all that water and dirt coming in and splashing the rider and all the rest of the bike. We made an adapter kit for right here, and to put on a top case. And we also have a few more different heat shields as well, like a carbon fiber that replaces this one, and a few other things going on. And the last, also fairly new part, is our radiator hose guard, because there's always, I've heard quite a few stories as well, and that the radiator hose and the header is very, very close, and so there's a risk for the radiator blowing out, getting too hot. So we made this nice little shield for that, very easy to install. And that gives a nice adequate protection that's made out of like a processed aluminum, to very heat resistant, and to make sure that radiator hose never blows out, because that's not what we want to do when you're on a BDR somewhere, right? And I think that's...
You might have missed a part or two, but it's okay.
A part or two, but it's
He's got a lot to offer, obviously, y'all. A lot to look at and touch while it's here, and see how it fits, and ask him, how it goes on and all that good stuff. Yeah. Both the bikes set up completely different, but amazing in both regards. So he mentioned a bunch of new parts and everything coming out. So while he's here, you got questions, it's a good time to ask him. Yeah. Some of the last stuff, so thank you, Hans. That was awesome. Yeah, thank you, brother. Does anybody have any questions right now that you want to do as a group, or no? Okay. I don't have too much more, y'all. I do want to just go over a few things that I do carry personally. If y'all want to come get a little bit closer over here so I'm not projecting as loud. I run the Moscow Moto gear or bag setup. Nothing that we can sell, because Pete, that owns the company, says he'll never wholesale. So these are bags that you'll have to get just through them. But a few things that we do carry here that I carry every time I'm on the trail or out riding in general. The tire pump, okay? That's saved me and all of our lives several times and kept us riding. One of the main things I want to show you is this tool kit. This is made by Cruise Tools. Okay, we carry this here. I had a tool roll that was probably double, if not triple this size, much heavier, of course, that over the last year and a half or so that I've been piecing together. I'm out there and I'm like, I wish I had this, I really needed it, right? Okay, it's on my list. When I go home, I'm adding it to the kit. When I got this, I'm like, there's no way that this thing's already got everything that I need in it. Okay, is it quality, all the stuff I asked. So Justin Kleider, he's a good friend that works for the motor company that does all the Pan America touring, linked me up with the owner of Cruise Tools, and we discussed it. He sent me the list of what they had, and it was literally line for line what I'd been acquiring over the last year and a half or 2 years. So you can take a look at it. We have a new one over there boxed and in the back as well too. I highly recommend this. This is from taking the tank off to doing a chain adjustment to tightening just about anything that could come loose on this bike when you're out riding, whether it's on the trail or on the road. So something key to look at there. I've got other little small things, chainsaw that has saved us quite a few times. This side I'm gonna have a first aid kit. Probably have a tourniquet in here that I carry, first aid kit, and then a jump box, which if you've done all the updates and had us go over your bike, you shouldn't need anymore. But there's always a KTM or Honda on the trail that needs it, I've found over the last year or so since we've got all the updates. This as well, we carry the medic kit I put together myself. And then I think lastly is just a tire plug kit. We think, why are we plugging our tires? Because we're not used to it on our other Harleys that we've had. There's no way you're gonna plug one of those tires. Maybe to get out of a jam you will, but like on these knobbies, I had to plug it 3 times on one trail ride that I was on. I ran over some barbed wire and didn't know it. The pump saved me. One thing to pay attention to on that pump, we all know on the Pan America we have a jack on the side back here for a battery tender. That's all cool. When you turn your ignition on, it kills the power to that. So what I wanted is I wanted to overcome the obstacle of killing my battery. So I want to be able to start my bike because this tire, that little pump, it's going to take 10 minutes or so to pump it up. Okay, you're going to drain that battery, and then now you're in the next problem of trying to jump off your bike at that point. So I put a battery tender up on the front that does not shut off when my ignition is turned on. So I can start my bike, I can pump it, I can plug it in, have it sitting there pumping, be packing up my other stuff while it's sitting there airing the tire back up. Simple tire plug kit. Charlie's got kits back there as well too, different than what I've got here. Those are some of the main essentials that I carry. When we do like a dirt ways or a dirt days ride, I'm always geared up to be able to give us, keep us all rolling if we need to fix something or work on something. I carry the Garmin XT on my bike with the Wunderlich mount system up there. We carry all the Garmin stuff as well. And then I also carry this is called the inReach. That allows me to communicate via satellite. So when we're out in the woods and we don't have cell service, my wife or my peers here at the shop can track where we're at. I can text message to them, and that also connects to my Garmin up here, so it's on a much larger screen. I literally turn that on and forget about it because it connects into my XT, and then also I get text messages on my phone just like I would if I had service. It also has an SOS capability. There is a monthly subscription for that through them. I think it's like 25 bucks a month or something for the biggest package that I have. But all stuff that just helps keep you protected. So what we found on our systems, unfortunately right now, it doesn't work great when you don't have cell service. Okay, so you're in the woods, you're dead in the water. If you have no cell service, you have no map. The XT has all the trails that we hit around here, all listed on there. Mine, I have it clicked into my Wi-Fi, so when I pull in the garage at night, it sits there and updates and does its own little thing when I pull in the garage. So I'm not gonna go over everything that I've done on my bike. But everything that's on it is we sell here as well too. I've obviously put my bike through the ringer. One thing I do want to say, guys, is make sure you look at the exhaust protection there, if you're running their exhaust or any of the ones that we sell. You can see where mine, it's dirty right now, but it's been definitely used. And if not, I would have been replacing that $1,000 exhaust again. It did take a hit last time a little bit, but I went down pretty hard on the right side. So all things just to help keep you protected, keep you out having fun. And it's what we do. The thing about Harley-Davidson is there's so much customization. You look at these other brands out there like the Desert X. I have a friend that has one. He's trying to find anything for it, right? There's just such small choices. Then you get Wunderlich coming in, such a great brand coming in with the Pan America, which blew my mind when I saw that because I knew Wunderlich. I thought it was owned by BMW, honestly, just because it was primarily for BMW. So I knew when they jumped on with Pan America that we were going to get that same top of the line product that they make. Again, another mutual friend, Justin Kleider, hooked me up with Hans, and Justin Edelman did as well too. So like I said, I don't want to bore you guys and go over everything that's on my bike. You got questions, we're here. You guys all know what we do here at White Lightning. Tell your buddies, tell your friends, get it out there. We have bikes towed in from Ohio, from Florida, from Kentucky, from Texas that come here to use our service department. A lot of big things going on with Pan America. It ain't going nowhere. Okay, so whether you're going to take it on the street and use it to tour cross country, or take it out in the woods, like we do, we try to have everything to offer. And we do. I mean, Marcus is riding the Pan America on all of our road rides. So we're doing all of our road rides we have once a month and our dirt rides. That you can ask me, hey, this is my skill level. Where are we thinking this ride's going to be on? And I try to get it as accurate as it can. Sometimes weather changes the route a little bit and washes out roads that we can't necessarily predict every time. That happened to us last time. It should have been a low-level ride, and it turned into a little bit more advanced just because of the rain a few weeks prior. So we're here for you guys. You guys got questions. Some of y'all have come very far. What was your name again? I'm sorry. Tracy rode all the way up from Jacksonville, Florida for this seminar in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So honored to have you up here. Thank you for making the trip. But you got the reps here, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of end it with that. Thank all y'all for coming out, supporting us here at the dealership. It means a lot. We're just doing what we love. At the end of the day, we're just doing what we love, and we're trying to give you guys the brands and the knowledge and everything that you need to get the right setup, whichever direction you're gonna go. So thanks Hans, Joe, Chelsea, all y'all that went in on this, and I'm gonna end it there. You guys make yourself comfortable and ask the guys questions while they're here. Cool? Thank y'all.